Mr. President, I rise now as the chair of the Appropriations Subcommittee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Food and Drug Administration, and related agencies. For the better part of 9 months, I have been negotiating a bipartisan agricultural appropriations bill. And my singular goal was delivering a bill that invests in rural communities, supports our farmers, delivers for America's children. That's what our agricultural appropriations bill does. And I am proud to have gotten us here alongside Ranking Member John Hoeven and his great staff, and with the immeasurable leadership of Chairwoman Patty Murray. Our bill will help farmers produce healthy food. It'll support economic development in rural communities and help working families put food on the table. As we went through the negotiations, I had to stand particularly firm to protect the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children, what most of us know as WIC. And I can't think of a more important program and a more important constituency in our country than one that delivers food to babies and toddlers. My constituents in New Mexico agree. Dr. Lawrence Chandler is a pediatrician back home. As he put it in a letter to my office, the impact of delivering this support goes way beyond the food itself. Dr. Chandler shared how children who receive WIC have improved birth outcomes, increased immunization rates, better access to health care, reduced health care costs, and better referrals to social services for families. He said, now is not the time to scale back on WIC. I couldn't agree more. And I'm proud to say that despite House Republicans' best efforts, and believe me, they tried, we have fully funded WIC. This is a major win for families across the country. We are ensuring that none of the 7 million women and children who depend on this nutrition will be put on a waiting list or denied assistance outright. I'm also proud that we have fully funded SNAP, a program that helps 42 million Americans put food on the table each month. In doing that, we also blocked House Republicans' attempt to impose new red tape and ineffective restrictions on eligibility for Americans who count on SNAP. Because what working families need right now is a government that will fight for them, not one that will make their lives more difficult. Our bill fully funds child nutrition programs like the school lunch program, the school breakfast program, and the summer EBT program to ensure that children don't go hungry. Our kids should be able to focus on learning in the classroom, on growing, on making new friends, not worrying about where their next meal will come from. We also are maintaining our strong support for the agricultural producers who grow our food. I know how much that means to the presiding officer. That includes maintaining support for vital agricultural research and our nation's next generation of researchers through funding for both the Agricultural Research Service and the National Institute for Food and Agriculture. These funds support scientific discovery at land-grant universities and research centers all across our country, including New Mexico State, in my home state. Our bill also delivers investments to help our nation's farmers and producers make their operations more resilient to an ever-changing climate. Farmers in New Mexico are grappling with drier conditions, dwindling water supplies, and they're not alone. I know that farmers and producers are eager to improve the long-term health of their working landscapes. They just need effective tools to improve soil health, conserve water, conserve energy, and manage their natural hazard risks. And speaking of managing risks and improving safety, our bill also supports the Food and Drug Administration's critical mission to protect the safety and the security of our nation's supply chains for food and for medicine. Our bill will also deliver important economic development investments to revitalize rural communities all across America. And that includes support for the Rental Assistance Program, at USDA that ensures Americans living in rural areas have access to safe and affordable housing. We also delivered vital investments in public safety for our rural communities. I was very proud to secure millions of dollars of federal funding that will help communities all across New Mexico, from Taos County to Anthony and Portales to San Juan County. We were able to fund fire engines and ambulance and build new emergency response facilities. And finally, at a time of mounting international conflict and global food insecurity, we are reaffirming America's moral leadership in fighting hunger worldwide. Maintaining our support for international food aid programs not only demonstrates our nation's commitment in the fight against hunger, but it helps us build new markets for our agricultural exports. As we drafted this bill and steered it through negotiations with the House, we had to make some very difficult decisions on how to best invest taxpayer dollars. We had to stay within the very thin margins for top-line funding levels that were agreed to last year by President Biden and House Republican leadership. But I am very proud of where we landed in this comprehensive bipartisan legislation. I especially want to thank the staff on the subcommittee for all the work they did to land this bill. And I would just urge all of our colleagues to support these investments that will make a real difference for working families, for farmers who produce our food, and for rural economies.